Hey, how's it going everyone? It's your boy Wags here, and we are back with another Shadows of Doubt video, this time showcasing some of the content in the brand new Cheats and Liars update. And if the name doesn't give you an idea as to what we'll be investigating in this episode, let me just say, there are no murderers this time. We'll be uncovering something far more sinister. Okay, maybe it's not as bad as murder, but it's still pretty mean. And like always, we'll be jumping into a new sandbox city that was named and recommended by one of you. So if you feel like possibly submitting a name or even a seed for me to maybe try out in the next video, drop it in the comments down below and I'll add it to my list of names. For this episode though, we're heading to Nocturn City, recommended by IDK____. Here's a seed if you end up seeing something in the video that you like and you want to try it out for yourself. And with that introduction out of the way, let's see what's going on in Nocturn City. My stay began like it usually does, with a leisurely walk through the streets, with mysterious wandering pedestrians and bars closed down for the morning. While this city might look similar to those I've visited before, there are actually some notable differences. Not only was City Hall here completely revamped with prestigious pillars and beautiful eye-catching lights, but Nocturn City was also home to the first hotel I would ever stay in. I still don't understand the three-door structure, but the more the merrier, they say. As I stepped inside, I was taken back by the gorgeous chandelier lighting and just how comfy the place felt. No longer would I have to walk the streets at night, cold and alone. I could just come here to drink and sleep my sorrows away. I inquired about the room prices and quickly found out that their cheapest rooms were 100 crows and their deluxe suites were 200. And as someone who just got here with, well, 0, I was a little out of luck. Or so I thought. I asked for a deluxe suite anyways, and to my surprise was offered the key immediately, despite stumbling in off the street ridiculously poor. You know me, I wasn't going to question it. I just got a free hotel room. Although the worker at the front desk seemed to hint that something pretty bad would happen to me if I didn't pay my tab by the next day. We'll see about that. Also, no wonder this place was expensive. I mean, they just had half-full bottles of alcohol sitting around kindly for their guests. My suite was on the 8th floor, and let me tell you, it was anything but deluxe. Everything was cramped into one tiny room. I mean, I didn't even have a fridge or a place to eat. I don't even want to know what the cheap rooms looked like if this was considered deluxe. I decided to go venture the hotel more and see what else was hidden about. A floor above me contained a complete open bar, and I mean legit wide open. Sure, there was a security laser, but when has that ever stopped me? Especially when it comes to drinking. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you commit a mass booze robbery. 2 floors above my own, I found a room that literally took up the whole 10th floor. Curiosity got the best of me, and I had to confirm if this person received a better hotel room than me. It was just as I expected. The place was absolutely huge. 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, multiple bedrooms. This was what I call a deluxe suite. I planned to steal a few things and escape without batting an eye, but then the owner returned. I scrambled, quickly grabbing anything I could fit into my pockets, but it wasn't going to be that easy.
Fight!
I might have won the fight, but I was bleeding, health draining rapidly. I had to get out, otherwise I'd pass out here and have to give up all of my stolen possessions. With just enough time left, hit the safe and snatched the guest's prized diamond before fleeing into the streets just outside the hotel. I only made it a couple of blocks before eventually... Normally whenever I wake up here, it's a bad experience. But in this case, I managed to keep everything I previously stole. Now I just needed to sneak out. Since I had now successfully gotten away with not paying for my hotel room, robbing another guest's room and knocking them out, and escaping from the hospital, I figured it was time to start giving back, to start using my skills for good as I was always intended to do. My job. But first I stopped and pawned off most of what I stole, including the diamond which brought me in a whopping 814 crows. I was now well prepared to begin my shift as Nocturn City's savior, their guardian angel, and occasional part-time diamond thief. I visited a couple job boards around town, greeted with the regular old arrest jobs, yada yada yada. Let's be honest, real boring stuff. I had my eye on something else at this point. In fact, I'll throw a statistic your way. Did you know that 60% of people living in Nocturn City cheat on their partner? That's almost as bad as 85% of you who watch my videos and aren't subscribed. So, if you want more detective content like this, hit that subscribe button and help me out. Anyway, we were looking for some cheating cases, straight up adultery, and we were dishing out the punishment. Finally, I found exactly what I was looking for. Can you help? I have a terrible suspicion that my partner is cheating. They often come home late without a good reason. I need something I can confront them with. I dialed the number and they asked me to meet them at the Juggernaut Rave restaurant, which thankfully was right down the road. Inside was a woman named Ariana Lynch, who suspected her partner Kamali Cohn of cheating. They wrote down all the information they had and even gave me a key to their apartment so I could pass as a cleaning service and investigate the place. There was a lot to do. I had to find out who their partner was cheating with, provide evidence, a picture, their address, and finally, trash their place. I could already tell this was going to be interesting. The only thing that made sense to do was first see about the apartment, where hopefully I'd be able to find some sort of clue as to where to go next. Inside the apartment, I did find some worthy information, like how Kamali was a shopkeeper, and apparently they needed every possible type of alcohol next time they went to the store. Kamali was fast asleep, but technically I was supposed to be cleaning, so on came the lights, and they went into the next room while I continued my search. Pretty much everything I found was rather useless to the case, until I came across this suspicious balled-up receipt in the corner. It was for a meal at the hotel. While it might not have been anything serious, I threw it on the evidence board for later. The last thing I checked was the address book. And yeah, no thanks. Kamali had went to bed, and since I still had the Bloodhound tracker I stole from earlier, I decided why not make use of it. Now I had a constant ping on Kamali. Wherever they'd decide to go, I would know about it. With the tracker to fall back on, I made my way back to the hotel to see if I could make any sense of the receipt I found. Luckily enough, security happened to be walking out as soon as I found the room. I hopped straight on the computer and was able to confirm the sales records. I thought maybe there would be other guests around the same time, but they were actually pretty spaced out, and cameras were just not even worth it with how many floors and people there were. So far the investigation has led to nothing. Kamali was still at home and I had no evidence to support that they were cheating at all. So I headed back to grab a drink from my collection, grabbed a burger, and got drunk in the hotel elevator. I then stumbled into the mailroom behind the front desk and found these notice posts for lost items that were apparently scattered through the hotel. Things like a screwdriver, perfume, and a hammer. And since I didn't have much to go on for the cheating case, I figured I may as well try to find these hidden items. So floor by floor I searched, every nook and cranny until eventually finding the perfume on the 3rd floor, the hammer on the 4th, and the screwdriver in the basement bathroom stall. Now sure, you're probably thinking, Wags, that's really nice of you going and finding those lost items. You're gonna return them, right? Nope. After all, the famous phrase is, finders keepers. So by that rule, the perfume, hammer, screwdriver, they were all mine, and mine to do with as I please. So I immediately took them to the pawn shop and sold them. Sure, I probably could have gotten more if I just returned them to the rightful owners, but it's the premise. Don't lose your stuff, or I'll pawn it. Or take it home and decorate my house with it. Doesn't matter to me. I ended up spending 2 straight days watching Kamali and making sure they were following their regular routines. I grabbed a camera from City Hall and did everything I could to keep tabs on them, all while keeping my distance at the same time. I watched them at work, in the streets, in the elevator. I even watched them from inside their own closet. To my own surprise though, Kamali never strayed from their schedule once, and at this point, the case was at a standstill. I was planning to head back over to the apartment to see if I missed anything from my first search, but then the hotel kicked me out for not paying my own bill, and essentially told me not to come back. I was baffled, devastated, so much so that I grabbed a nearby trash can and tossed it through the lobby, grabbing drinks along the way and smashing them into the bar. That is until this maniac rolled up with a gun and shot me. I retreated into the night with the hotel staff chasing me down. One of the staff members had ran out of breath, so I used this as a chance to strike. With both workers out of commission, I looted their bodies for the weapons they had and disposed of all the evidence I could, leaving me with just enough time to escape before they awoke. Back at the apartment, I tried to check over everything I could that I might have missed the last time. Again, nothing turning up, until I finally found a poem in one of the desk drawers. A romantic poem, obviously written by Kamali, to someone initialed AB. This was clearly hard-proof evidence that someone else was in the picture, but as to who AB was, I had no idea. Kamali's password was also nowhere to be found in the apartments, and I needed to check those emails. Since money wasn't an issue, I bought a code breaker at City Hall and brought it back to hack open Kamali's account. Sadly, it brought nothing to the table. No names, no emails, no AB, nothing. Realistically, I had one option left if I wanted to crack this case open for my client. The address book.
No! God, please, no! No!
I took the book to the diner because for some reason I thought I could find the full names of these people and figure out whose last name started with B, but I forgot that's not how that works. I only had first names and addresses, so the only way for me to figure out who was to literally go visit each person and learn about them. See why I didn't want to use the address book? Once I had all the names and addresses down, there were two that I pinpointed to be the most important immediately. One for the hotel, since we did have that receipt after all, and the second was that. Since it was the same apartment complex our client and their partner lived in. Since I was ultimately banned from the hotel for the time being, I decided to check out the apartment first, and I'm glad I did. A pink-haired resident opened the door and refused to answer any of my questions, so I resorted to an old tactic that I hadn't used in a while. I had a good feeling about this person being our homewrecker. Their name was Adam Banks, and they worked at the hotel, which could explain our receipt. Then I found the icing on the cake. Flowers, with a note. AB, won't you be mine? Signed K. Obviously Kamali. And I mean, if that wasn't obvious enough, it's literally titled Flowers Note Affair. I waited for Adam to wake up so I could take some pictures for the paperwork before putting him back to sleep again. I swear that wasn't me. There was one final thing I needed to do before wrapping up the paperwork and therefore the case. I grabbed the first trash bag I caught eyes with and ran it back up to Adam's apartment. He did all he could to stop me, but I was already in motion, kicking and rolling the bag all over the apartment, splattering the place in disgust. My work here was completely done. Looking at the place, I was oddly satisfied with how well I was able to trash it. The entire apartment was just covered in the nastiest substances. It was everything I could have hoped for. The last thing to do was fill out the paperwork and turn it in for confirmation. 5 out of 5, check marks all around. The case was an absolute success and now closed. Which meant it was time to treat myself. So I snuck back into the hotel, grabbed a few drinks from my stolen stash, and broke into my room for a warm, comfy night of TV drinking. This has been Detective Wags. Thanks for joining me on another case, once again. Until next time. Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning into the video and staying this long. I do my best to reply to everyone, so let me know down below how you liked the video and how you've been enjoying the Cheats and Liars update so far. Or just comment how your day is, I don't mind. Real quick though, I do need to say, every time I upload a video, I'm just blown away by the feedback and the support you all give me. Every comment just makes my day even more, and I can positively say I wouldn't still be doing this if it wasn't for the awesome, loyal community I've managed to build so far. I've gone through phases where I've tried my hand at YouTube before, but it usually only lasts a couple months here and there. I can honestly say this is the longest I've ever stuck with something like this, and it's because of all of you. I mean, I can't stop now. The rate at which the channel has been growing, it's like rocket fuel, and I'll take it as far as I can. Just in the past week, I've had so many ideas on what I want to do next, and it's almost frustrating how little time there is in the day to act on our passions. Once again, I thank you all for not only giving me a platform to share entertaining content with you all, but also giving me an opportunity to take some of my biggest passions, such as gaming, writing, storytelling, video editing, and allowing me to put it all in one place for everyone to enjoy. I appreciate you all for stopping by. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you all on the next one.